So I've heard you're not mining all the ground we stripped?
That part of the cut was worthless. I don't know what you want me to do. There's no gold there.
Rick Ness started his mining season 6 weeks late due to the lockdown, but he's quickly making up for lost time. With 302 ounces of gold already collected, he's nearly a third of the way to his goal of 1,000 ounces.
Jordan building such an awesome job, getting all 11 back together.
Now he's ready to ramp things up despite a relentless shortage of rock trucks and a tough deadline. How did Rick escape bankruptcy despite all the challenges? Let's find out how Rick secured that incredible $100,000 gold haul. Rick's bold push. Rick greets his team cheerfully yet authoritatively, even though they've arrived late again. He begins by expressing his appreciation for their dedication, noting how their efforts have greatly improved the operation. He humorously acknowledges that their success has been a long time coming, using the phrase, "fake it till you make it," to lighten the mood. The team responds in unison, reflecting a shared commitment to the project. As Rick outlines the upcoming challenges, he reveals that they are transitioning from a simpler task to a much more demanding one, the Deep Cut project.
Real nice, real nice. Now straighten out the front of the truck a little bit so when you dump, you're not cockeyed.
This new venture will require them to remove over 60 feet of overburden, layers of soil and rock that cover the mineral deposits thereafter. This phase is not only physically demanding, but also comes with significant risks and costs. Rick's tone blends encouragement with a realistic acknowledgement of the difficulties they face, stressing the importance of precision and caution in their work. The team shows a mix of enthusiasm and concern. They understand the magnitude of the task ahead and the potential rewards it holds. Despite the risks, the prospect of uncovering substantial gold deposits motivates them. Rick uses this opportunity to emphasize the critical nature of the deep cut, framing it as a pivotal moment that could lead to achieving their ambitious goal of extracting 1,000 ounces of gold. As they begin their work, Rick continues to provide guidance, particularly to Carlo, whom he instructs to operate one of the rock trucks essential for moving large quantities of earth. He underscores the need to maintain momentum and focus, as any delays or errors could be costly. Rick's leadership is a blend of direct commands and motivational speeches, aiming to keep morale high despite the pressures. He also reminds the team of the potential payoff hidden beneath the overburden.
Well, first of all, I just want to thank you guys for all the hard work. Things are really coming along good. We're streamlining and we're looking like we know what we're doing.
Based on previous findings, they anticipate that 30 tons of pay dirt might yield about 2 ounces of gold per 100 yards, making their arduous efforts potentially very profitable. The team's response is a mixture of grit and cautious optimism. They dive into their tasks, operating heavy machinery and coordinating their efforts to manage the enormous volume of material efficiently. Rick watches over the operation with a critical eye, aware that the success of this endeavor depends on their ability to work effectively under pressure. Throughout the project, Rick remains a central figure, balancing his roles as a leader and a participant. His approach mixes hope with a stark awareness of the reality they face. Every scoop of earth moved brings them closer to their goal, but also closer to depleting their resources.
I'm not sure if I'm quite ready for that. Let me run that through my head for a bit here.
The deep cut is a test of their skills, resilience, and ability to adapt to the challenges of gold mining. Rick won't accept anything less than their best. From dust to riches, Rick Ness, a seasoned gold miner, was facing tough times. With his business dangerously close to going under, he desperately needed a big find to keep his mining dreams and operations afloat. This critical moment of need brought Rick and his team to the Deep Cut, a mining site known for its difficult terrain but rumored to hold significant amounts of gold. The day started with Rick and his crew arriving at the site, all too aware of what was at stake. The machines they used were large and loud, struggling against the hard earth as the team worked to dig deeper, searching for the valuable gold deposits that lay hidden beneath layers of soil and rock. The air was filled with the sound of engines and the sight of dust as the workers pushed themselves and their equipment to the limits. At the deep cut, the challenge was greater than at any other site they had worked. This area was known to have deeper deposits of gold, making the digging harder and the risk of failure higher. The excavation required moving huge amounts of dirt, using big trucks to carry it away, clearing space for the powerful excavators to reach down into the deeper gold-bearing layers. Each movement of dirt was crucial, and precision in their work was essential to avoid costly mistakes that could spell disaster for Rick's operation. Throughout this intense period, Rick's role as a leader was more important than ever. He was constantly on the move, overseeing the excavation process, motivating his crew with words of encouragement, and even stepping in to operate the heavy machinery himself when needed. Rick's instincts and years of mining experience told him they were close to a major discovery. After many hours of hard work, their efforts paid off. The team uncovered a layer of earth that sparkled with gold, a sign that they might have finally found the breakthrough they needed. Despite their exhaustion, the crew's spirits lifted with the sight of gold. But Rick knew that there was no time to rest. He quickly got everyone back to work, knowing that every minute they could process this gold-laden dirt could mean the difference between survival and failure for his business. They hurried the precious dirt to the gold room, where the mood shifted from anxious waiting to hopeful excitement. The machines worked faster, processing the soil as Carl, the operator, watched the gold separate from the dirt. His hopeful glances towards Rick hinted that this haul might be significantly more than what they usually recovered. As night fell, the fruits of their labor became clear. The gold they processed from this new find was substantial, estimated to be worth around $100,000. This was not just a win for Rick financially.
I know you guys are getting tired, but we've got some weeks left, and I know you're all up for it, right?
It was a lifeline that pulled him and his operation back from the edge of bankruptcy. It was a massive relief and a moment of vindication for Rick, reaffirming his faith in his team and their hard work. Rick looked over the site as the day's work came to an end. The golden glow of the setting sun mirrored the success they had just achieved. The threat of losing his business had been staved off, replaced now by the heavy, promising weight of gold. For the first time in a long while, Rick felt a real sense of hope about the future. The triumph at the deep cut not only pulled Rick's mining operation back from the brink of financial disaster, it also greatly boosted his confidence in his team's capabilities. It proved to him that with enough persistence and teamwork, even the most daunting challenges could be overcome, leading to incredible outcomes. As the crew finished up for the day and began to pack away their gear, Rick felt a deep sense of gratitude towards his team and a renewed vigor for future challenges. This was more than just a successful day. It was a sign that they could achieve much more together. The day's work had been grueling. Trucks continuously drove back and forth, transporting heaps of overburden away from the dig site. The air was heavy with tension as Rick gave out orders with urgency, and the crew pushed themselves to the limit, driven by the goal of uncovering large quantities of gold. Despite the demanding atmosphere, Rick felt an unmistakable excitement bubbling within him. The deep cut represented a huge opportunity, the chance to reach an ambitious goal of collecting 1,000 ounces of gold. He was fully committed to achieving this, ready to face any hardship that came their way. This project was shaping up to be Rick's most intense mining effort yet. They had only a few days' worth of easier work left before they would run out of accessible gold, putting immense pressure on him and his team to break through 60 feet of overburden to reach the richer gold deposits below. Sometimes, you just have to face the tough tasks head-on, Rick thought to himself. his determination hardening.
It's capable of keeping up with Monster Red and then some. That's a piece of equipment that I can grow into.
He rallied his entire crew, emphasizing the massive amount of work ahead. We have a huge job to do, moving all this overburden. It's going to be really challenging. The pressure was palpable among the team members. In the gold room, Carlo was particularly overwhelmed, trying to process the incoming material as fast as possible. It's non-stop in here, and honestly, it's pretty overwhelming, Carlo admitted, his voice tinged with concern. You don't want to be unprepared when things get this intense. Despite the difficulties, Rick maintained a stern approach, knowing that every moment counted. The deep cut needed to be cleared quickly if they were to meet their gold target. The crew operated like a well-oiled machine, each member focused on transporting the overburden away as efficiently as possible, yet the sheer volume of the task at hand was daunting. From a distance, Rick oversaw the operations, his voice carrying a mix of skepticism and urgency. With 60 feet of overburden in our way, the deep cut won't clear itself, he remarked, his tone reflecting the gravity of their endeavor. As the team continued their relentless work, the stakes remained high, and the challenges loomed large. Yet Rick's leadership and the crew's unwavering effort gave them a fighting chance to not only meet, but perhaps even exceed their goals.
It's like, if I don't buy it, he's got plenty of other people that want to buy it, and that would mean that I wouldn't have anywhere to mine.
The sense of teamwork and shared purpose had never been stronger, and despite the hard work ahead, there was a shared belief that they could achieve remarkable things together. The deep cut was more than a mining site. It was a test of their resolve and a chance to secure their future in gold mining. With stress building, Rick needs his team to focus and find the gold-rich pay dirt. Final shot at gold. In the thick of the mining operation at the deep cut, Carlo drives his rock truck with sheer determination, visibly focused on the task. Around him, the other workers share a similar intensity, though the stress of their challenging work is clear on their faces. The machinery bellows loudly, grinding through stubborn layers of earth and debris. Despite their best efforts, progress feels excruciatingly slow, and the looming deadline for the wash plant adds a heavy weight of pressure, pushing everyone to their limits. Rick, overseeing the operation, is fueled by urgency and frustration. He issues commands to keep the operation moving swiftly. There is no room for delay, as every hour they fall behind means less time to uncover the valuable pay dirt that lies deep beneath the overburden. His critical gaze sweeps over the site, deeply aware of the high stakes they face. If they fail to reach the gold, the responsibility falls entirely on them. The workers respond with a deepened resolve, their faces drenched in sweat as they vigorously work to remove the stubborn overburden. Carlo, from his vantage point inside the truck.
I'm an iron worker back in Whitehorse, so have no experience here, but it's been a few months so far and it's going good.
Is acutely aware of the immense challenge they face. Reaching their ambitious goal of extracting 1,000 ounces of gold will require more than just effort and determination. Rick observes the ongoing work, his posture tense and focused. He believes strongly that hard work, rather than luck, is what will lead them to gold. The wash plant is critically low on pay dirt, making the success of the deep cut even more crucial. With tensions high and nerves stretched thin, any mistake could be disastrous. Rick is firm in his belief that the deep cut must yield results. There can be no excuses. Time is a luxury they cannot afford to waste. As the window for using the remaining pay dirt from the cheap cut narrows, the team ramps up their efforts even more. They haul dirt back and forth, stripping the deep cut as rapidly as possible, understanding all too well that if they don't reach the pay dirt soon, all their hard work might amount to nothing. Constantly vigilant, Rick paces the edge of the pit. He watches as the excavators synchronize their movements, loading rock trucks rhythmically. The air is thick with dust, the tension palpable. Every minute ticking by is critical. When Rick approaches Joe, who is maneuvering an excavator through a tough section of earth, the challenge is evident. Joe, sweating under his helmet, struggles with the resistant overburden. Despite the slow progress, Rick urges him to maintain the pace. They can't afford any slowdown now. Rick then heads over to the gold room, where Carl faces his own set of challenges. The machines in the gold room hum continuously as they process the incoming material, separating gold from gravel and sand. The pressure to keep up is intense. Carl looks up, his face showing signs of wear from the relentless pace. The pay dirt from the cheap cut is nearly exhausted, and the transition to processing material from the deep cut is critical. The operation must continue without interruption. As Rick steps back outside, he surveys the bustling sight. Trucks rumble back and forth, kicking up clouds of dust as they transport dirt to the tailings pile. Excavators dig deeper, relentlessly clawing through layers of rock and debris. After several more hours of strenuous labor, the team finally begins to see signs of pay dirt in the deep cut. They pause briefly, acknowledging their small victory with cautious smiles and wiping the sweat from their brows.
How do you feel about this level you're cutting to in that ditch?
I mean, it feels like pay.
This moment of success, though minor, is a crucial turning point. Encouraged but not complacent, Rick watches as the team doubles their efforts. They transport load after load of the newly uncovered pay dirt to the wash plant. The machinery in the gold room springs to life with renewed vigor as Carl begins processing this new batch of material. Standing back with his arms crossed, Rick observes the operation, now in full swing. The initial signs are promising, suggesting that this could indeed be the significant break they've been hoping for. Despite the potential for celebration, Rick remains cautiously optimistic, his mind already focusing on maintaining momentum. He watches as Carlo skillfully maneuvers his rock truck through the chaotic scene, a muttered hope escaping his lips that the deep cut will live up to its potential and their hard work will finally pay off. The realization that they might be on the verge of a major gold find energizes everyone, reinforcing their commitment to push through the challenges and seize the opportunity before them. He is running out of time, and the crew has to dig deep before it's too late. 60 feet to clear. Can they make it? Rick gathers his entire team to tackle the challenging task at Deep Cut, a vast 3-acre site that needs extensive work to uncover the gold-bearing soil beneath. The task is daunting because a thick layer of non-valuable soil and rock, known as overburden, must be removed to get to the profitable layer. Carlo, who is in charge of the area where gold is extracted from the soil, feels overwhelmed by the volume of work. He is fully committed to his role in the gold processing area, but is worried about keeping up with the pace required. The thought of failing to manage the workload effectively causes him considerable stress. Despite these challenges, the crew operates efficiently, removing huge quantities of overburden. The scale of the task is massive, making every moment critical. From a distance, Rick oversees the operation, his voice hinting at his skepticism. He is acutely aware of the depth of the overburden and the monumental effort required to clear it, emphasizing the challenge they face. Carlo, alongside other workers, shows determination as they drive their heavy machinery. They remain focused, though the strain of their task is visible. The machinery works non-stop, breaking through layer after layer, but the pace of progress is slow, pressured by the nearing deadline of the wash plant. In moments of heightened stress, Rick sharply directs the team to keep up the pace and avoid any slowdowns, understanding that delays could jeopardize their efforts. As they dig deeper, the team occasionally feels doubtful because the overburden is tough to move, and any time wasted reduces their chances of reaching the valuable soil.
I mean, what is really significant is this was like a relative hotspot. We had cleanup after cleanup after cleanup. It was kind of like our glory days.
Rick, ever watchful, reminds everyone of the responsibility they carry in this venture. The physical toll of the work is clear on the team's faces, drenched in sweat as they laboriously clear the overburden. Carlo admits the difficulty of their target, suggesting that achieving their goal will require more than just luck. Rick, hearing this, reaffirms that their success depends on hard work rather than fortune. The urgency is felt by all as the wash plant awaits the pay dirt, and any mistakes could be costly. The crew's efforts intensify as they continue to move dirt and strip the site with maximum efficiency. With the critical deadline approaching, the pressure mounts and every second counts. Rick stays attentive, walking back and forth near the excavation site. He observes the excavators and rock trucks working in unison, their operations enveloped in dust and urgency as the clock continues to tick. In a brief conversation, Rick checks on Joe, who is maneuvering an excavator through a particularly stubborn patch of dirt. Joe's report of slow progress is met with Rick's insistence on not slowing down. Back in the gold room, Carl faces the possibility of running out of material from an earlier site, which adds to the stress. Rick tells him to prepare for more incoming dirt, as efforts at deep cut are stepped up. Eventually, after relentless work, the team discovers the first promising signs of gold-rich dirt. They pause, wiping sweat from their brows and sharing a moment of cautious relief. Rick quickly reminds them of the continuous need to push forward, aware that the successful processing of the unearthed material is critical. The operation picks up pace, and Rick watches the gold room spring into action, processing the new material. As the machines roar and the gold room becomes a hub of activity, the team feels a mix of hope and caution. Rick, observing the operation, quietly contemplates the potential breakthrough, recognizing the signs are good, but knowing it's too early to celebrate. This marks a significant moment in their endeavor as the signs of success begin to show, even if they can't yet be sure of the outcome. The team's spirit is buoyed by the progress, and they redouble their efforts, hauling more and more pay dirt to the wash plant. Rick's leadership and the team's hard work begin to show promising results, offering a glimpse of what could be a substantial reward for their efforts. Is Rick Ness right to believe the deep cut will deliver, or is he overlooking the sheer scale of the challenge? Share your thoughts and remember to like and subscribe for more.